Hello everybody, welcome to the Empty Nest Teacher channel. If you are new to the channel, welcome. And if you have seen any of the videos here before, thank you so much for coming back. We don't take anybody for granted. Today, of course, is Vlogmas day number 3. So it is December 3rd. And it is a Friday, TGIF, y'all. Today I want to talk about my first observation. I have my first observation coming up. And I'm not nervous. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm not nervous about anything, whatever. It's not that I'm nervous. I think it's just knowing that I'm new and, knowing that administration, will be in the room. And I think it's for 30 minutes. A 30-minute observation that, administration will be in the room and watching. I enjoy teaching, but I don't like people just watching me. But this is it's a part of it. So, you have to do what you have to do. But so like I said, this is Friday. Next Tuesday is my pre-conference. And then my actual observation is on Thursday. I'm doing my reading block. So, it's just going to be interesting. So, I'm wondering what, my pre-conference is going to be like. I'm wondering, what the actual observation is going to be like. Of course, one of my concerns is, my students. They love, when we have visitors and stuff like that, because I've had conversations with them about being polite and, speaking to people when they enter the room and, all of that. So they get to use, those type of, skill. I don't want to say skills. I guess they are social skills, but, some students don't know to speak when, an adult speaks to you, or, if someone, if you're passing someone or whatever like that, just to be polite. Some people don't know about being polite. And it's not that, some of the students are trying to be mean or, impolite, but, they just don't know. So that's the big thing that I do in my class is, respect. We have the 3, rules for respect at our school and all that, but just general, being polite with each other, being polite with those that you come in contact with. So those are like life skills that, they don't just use in the classroom or with me, but, wherever they go. But anyway, I'm just wondering, how all that is going to be. So, what we have to do, and I'm not sure, I assume that, by district or by school that, this process differs. So, I have to submit my lesson plan so that they know what I'm going to teach and all of that. And we use the FFT framework, for teaching that lesson plan. So I'll be working on that this weekend to get that together and submit that prior to the conference. So I'll need to submit that on Monday. And then it'll be interesting to see what feedback that, administration will give regarding that. And then they will come in for 30 minutes. So based on our district rules, the first observation must be announced. And so that's the upside to it. At least I know when it's going to be as opposed to an unannounced observation. But the first one has to be announced, and any observation after that does not have to be announced. So I think that has been some of my cushion so far, knowing that, I haven't had my first one yet. And so they, they have to tell me when it's going to be, and everything like that. So after next week, they can come in anytime. So, and it's not that I'm worried about that at all, but like I said, I generally don't care for people just watching me. But again, we have to do, what we have to do as teachers. Observations have to happen. And this kind of ties back into what I was talking about yesterday for Vlogmas Day 2. And how, it's just crazy to me how we have, just jumped back into school as if, nothing happened. And so I talked yesterday about the student side, so like the effects on the students, and the pandemic gaps on top of whatever gaps existed prior to the pandemic. And then on the teacher side, I talked about how it could be stressful, but on the teacher side, that's the observations. And, I, again, don't think that it's that fair that, observations are taking place as if nothing happened. Now, like I said, I think toward the end of my video yesterday, my administration is awesome in terms of, they know the job that they have to do and they do take us into consideration. And so, even in having to do what they have to do. So I'm appreciative for that. But when I'm discussing this, I'm just talking about the overall process or the overall mentality that we should just jump back into school, as if nothing happened. And so, that's what I have the issue with. COVID is still, unfortunately, taking lives. COVID is still, spreading here and there. I think district to district across the country, there have been teacher casualties. There have been some student casualties. And there are teachers and staff members that are out every week. If you pay attention to, I'm sure many districts have like a website or something like that where they report, certain things having to do with the pandemic, whether it's school closures or the number of teachers that are out or, reported cases within the school system or whatever. But that has not slowed, that has not slowed. So for a teacher, on top of, wanting to be safe in your classroom and all that type of stuff, which is completely difficult because you spend so much time trying to make the kids, stay apart and having conversations about safety and health and, all of that, and why we're just not telling them they can't be in each other's face just for the fun of it. I've had numerous conversations, and not just in health class, about why they shouldn't be sharing things, bringing things from home and sharing it with their classmates, and why the desks are, pulled apart, why at recess they can't be up in each other's faces, why when they're playing duck, duck, goose, it can't be a small circle, widen that circle up, so, but, I'm trying to keep my mind wrapped around, what I have to do. Like I said yesterday, I'm not going to let it stress me out. Although these things are stressful, I'm not going to let it stress me out. And I think I just take the mentality that I know I have to do it. I know I have to do it. So, sometimes I feel, I definitely feel like, I don't want to do it. I'm not looking forward to it. I think that's a better description of how I feel. I'm not looking forward to it. I know I have to do it, but I'm not looking forward to it. And so, observation is one of those things. This observation is definitely one of those things. The video yesterday was about the SGM, so I was able to, to turn that in and get that in. And so now we have the pre-conference coming up. So this will be my first round of this. And so, of course, I'll keep you guys updated. It is Vlogmas, so my observation, my pre-conference and my observation will take place during Vlogmas. So you will definitely hear what the status of both of those events will be when they take place. I will definitely share my thoughts. And please share your thoughts. Are there any other first-year teachers? Or maybe you're not a first-year teacher, but, you're fairly new and you still kind of feel some way about, observations. And then there may be some people who don't mind, people watching them, observing them in that setting. Doesn't make you concerned or nervous at all. Even in the midst of everything that we're going through, you may just be a-okay with that. And if so, that's awesome. But, like I said, hopefully my students will, and of course I have to have a talk with them prior to the observation, to just let them know what's happening, because my students are the type of children, if something happens that is out of the norm, they're like, oh, Miss Watkins, what is going on? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to change this? Oh, this day is different. So, they are definitely a class that like to know. They like to be in the know and know what's going on. And some of them can be extremely nosy. So I have to tell them, I'll do like this. I'll do like this. And we have like a little funny joke with that. I would tell them to mind their beeswax. So when I do like this, I don't have to say it anymore. When I do like this, if somebody's being nosy, the class will say, mind your beeswax. So, but I will let them know, just so they can, they won't get so caught off guard in terms of their attention, because somebody came in the room, and they're not only watching me, but they'll be watching the students. So I don't want the students, turning around and just looking and staring, and, the whole time you're supposed to be paying attention to the lesson as usual, but you're paying attention to administration in the room. So I'll definitely have to have a conversation and warn them about that, and keep them in the know. So again, like I said, please share your experience with pre-conference and observation. Even if your process is different than mine, tell me about your process. Tell me where you teach. And tell me, does your process sound similar to mine with the pre-conference and then a 30-minute observation, or is it different? And does your administration, do they have to tell you that they're coming in only the first time, and then that's it? It can be unannounced after that. What is the process, where you are? How do you feel about them? And there could be some veteran teachers who still, would love to know if there will be an observation that will take place within your classroom. Of course, I think most of us, would like to know so that we can be prepared and be ready. And it's not that you're not prepared on a daily basis. It's not like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing on a daily basis, but just, I think just knowing that somebody's watching, is, an extra little, thing to kind of be concerned about sometimes, depending on, if you're very outgoing or if you're not. I fall somewhere in the middle, just depending on the situation. I don't feel like I'm outgoing. I'm not going to sit here and say that like I'm shy, but I don't like talking in front of people. I don't like, which is crazy that I'm even doing this. I don't like talking in front of, I guess, large groups of people, or, leadership, whatever. I've done different things, for the past few years that landed me in front of, large groups, small groups, in different situations, conferences, teaching classes and all of that type of stuff, prior to being a real teacher, maybe like teaching in church, or, teaching on a panel or something like that, or discussion on a panel, or teaching small classes. But I'm just still not the type of person where, I want a whole bunch of people looking at me. I think like mentally, it's like, okay, gawking is not the correct word. Just watching you. I don't even know what the correct word is, because I'm tired, y'all, number one. It's been a long week and it's Friday, so I'm tired. But, just watching me, just observing. And I think like another teacher were evaluating me. So it's like you're watching me specifically to see what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And again, yes, it's part of being a teacher. I get it. And it has to be done, and I'll get through it. and prayerfully do, a good job. But just knowing that, somebody is there to evaluate. So that's the word, not observe. Evaluate in this situation is the best way to describe. It is an evaluation because my principal is my supervisor, and principals are the ones that do our evaluation. So again, if that process is different where you are, let me know. But my principal does the evaluation at within our district or at my school. And so, one of the things I'm also grateful for is that I feel like I have a good relationship with my principal. I believe I have a good rapport with her, which is, good to kind of feel that way. I was having a conversation with my vice principal yesterday while I was waiting to talk to my principal about the SGMs. And, I told her sometimes I find myself, like, it could be random times throughout the day or even at the end of the day, and I'm sitting there doing work at the end of the day. And it'll kind of just hit me like, oh my gosh, I'm a teacher. Like, how did I get here? I'm a teacher. And it's like, oh my gosh, I still enjoy it. And so, that thing is kind of like an enlightening moment, a reoccurring enlightening moment that happens every now and then. And I'm like, wow, this is something that I said that I would never do. This is something that I never wanted to do. I would have never chosen to do. But here I am doing it. And here I am enjoying it. And so I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful that one of the things I was concerned about was coming through the program that I was in. The program could place you wherever they wanted to place you. And in this program, they are affiliated with different schools that have, some needs, different communities that have needs. And so it's no telling, where you would be placed. And so I'm so glad that the opening, the door opened for me to go to my school and get familiar with my school. And then this school year, be able to go to the school that I was familiar with, work with the staff that I was already familiar with, and, be a first-time teacher there. So I think that's one of the things that has helped me throughout this process that is so stressful, is the fact that the school climate where I am, is positive. And that really helps. That really helps. I tend to stay in my room a lot. And it's not that I'm trying to be antisocial or anything like that. But I literally always have work. And so I'm always trying to stay ahead. So I'm always thinking about the next day or the next week or whatever the case may be. What do I need to print? What lessons do I have to put together? The slides, from the lessons do I have to put together? Grading, all the different pieces that come with, being a teacher. So I basically stay late every day, mostly every day, and try to, get ahead of the game. So that is my life right now, which I am in the midst of the craziness, enjoying it. So thank you so much for listening. If you have stayed this long, I appreciate you listening to my thoughts. It's basically like I'm just having a conversation with you guys, whoever is watching, and just sharing my thoughts, as I speak. So thank you all for listening. If you stayed this long, I appreciate you so much. I'm just sharing my thoughts as, I sit here and talk, and, just giving you my thoughts real time. So I appreciate you guys staying and listening until the end of this video. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please share with somebody else you know. You may know another new teacher, and I would love to hear from you and from them. Also, hit that subscribe button. you will know. All right, you'll get the notifications when I post another video, or when I upload another video. So again, thank you so much. It is Friday and I need to get some rest because Saturdays are work days for me. I use my Saturdays to kind of plan and, you know, kind of chill out and plan. So I might talk about that another time. What is my process to, you know, my planning? What is the method to my madness? Have I gotten into my groove yet, you know, of what works for me? That's a whole nother conversation. So I'm not even going to keep talking about it now because I'll keep going. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.